You walked into the kitchen and stopped. You stood there for a full 10 seconds, and you could not remember why you came in. Maybe it was the car keys you kept finding in the wrong places, or the name of your neighbor, someone you've known for 15 years. That just vanished mid-sentence. And the scariest part? You told yourself it was normal. You told yourself, this is just getting older. But deep down, something felt wrong. I'm Dr. Sarah Jenkins, integrative medicine physician based in Austin, Texas. I've spent over 22 years working with patients over 60 who come to me with exactly what I just described. In the last decade alone, I've worked closely with more than 3,000 adults who are experiencing memory slips, brain fog, and mental fatigue. And a shocking number of them had one thing in common. They were already taking vitamin B12. They thought they were doing everything right, and their brains were still paying the price. Here's what most doctors don't tell you, and what I wish someone had told my patients sooner. Taking B12 the wrong way is almost as bad as not taking it at all. And after 60, the gap between doing it right and doing it wrong becomes critical. A study published in the journal Neurology found that older adults with low B12 activity had brain volume loss at a rate 6 times faster than those with healthy B12 levels, 6 times. That's not a small difference. That's the difference between a brain that stays sharp and a brain that is quietly, silently shrinking. While you go about your day thinking your supplement is protecting you, the warning signs are easy to dismiss. Fatigue that sleep doesn't fix, words that sit just out of reach, moods that shift without reason, a foggy feeling that follows you into the afternoon. These are not just senior moments. These are signals. And if you're over 60 and taking B12 without knowing what I'm about to share, those signals deserve your full attention today. So let me walk you through the 7 biggest B12 mistakes that age your brain faster, and exactly what to do instead. The first mistake is taking the wrong form of B12. Most supplements contain cyanocobalamin. It's cheap to produce, and it's the hardest form for your aging body to actually use. After 60, your liver loses much of its ability to convert cyanocobalamin into the active form your brain needs. What you want is methylcobalamin, the form your neurons can absorb directly without conversion. The second mistake is swallowing it whole. A pill that travels all the way to your stomach gets hit with a wall of acid and a protein called intrinsic factor. And after 60, your body produces less of both. Studies show that up to 40% of adults over 60 have some degree of reduced absorption in the gut. Sublingual delivery, dissolving it under your tongue, bypasses that entire problem and gets B12 directly into your bloodstream. The third mistake is taking it alone. B12 doesn't work in isolation. It needs folate and B6 to complete the process of lowering homocysteine, the amino acid that, when elevated, acts like a slow acid on your brain tissue. Without those cofactors working together, you're running an engine with only one of its 3 cylinders firing. The fourth mistake is ignoring timing. B12 is a stimulating nutrient. It supports energy and nerve signaling. Taking it at night can disrupt sleep, and poor sleep is one of the fastest ways to accelerate brain aging. Morning is when your brain benefits most. The fifth mistake is inconsistency. B12 is water-soluble. Your body doesn't store it the way it stores fat-soluble vitamins. Missing 2 or 3 days in a row, something almost everyone does, creates dips in levels that your neurons feel immediately. Consistency isn't optional. It's the whole strategy. The sixth mistake is ignoring what blocks absorption entirely. Metformin, one of the most commonly prescribed medications in adults over 60, depletes B12 aggressively. So does long-term use of proton pump inhibitors, the acid reflux medications millions of seniors take every single day. If you're on either of these, you may need significantly more than the standard dose, and you may need a smarter delivery system. If any of these 6 mistakes sound familiar, pause right now. Check the pinned comment below this video. I've left something there I want to make sure you see before you leave. The 7th mistake, and this one connects to something I discovered that genuinely surprised me, is treating B12 as a single solution, when the research now shows that brain health after 60 requires a very specific combination of nutrients working together in a very specific sequence. And that brings me to something I have to share with you. After years of digging into the exact mechanism by which B12, folate, and specific neuroprotective compounds interact at the cellular level, I came across a formula that stopped me in my tracks. I don't say that lightly. I've reviewed hundreds of supplements in my career, but this one, called the Brain Song, was built around the precise biological pathway I had been studying, the sequencing, the cofactors, the delivery method. I remember thinking, this is what I've been trying to recreate for my patients in pieces. Someone finally put it together. I don't want you to leave this video without knowing about it. The link is in the pinned comment below. I'm not here to sell you anything. I just know what I've seen, and I'd never keep something like this to myself. Let me tell you about Dorothy. She's 67 from Georgia. She came to me frustrated. She'd been taking B12 for 3 years and felt no different. Still foggy, still exhausted, still losing words mid-conversation. She'd tried everything, she said. We switched her to the right form, the right timing, and added the cofactors her brain actually needed. Within 6 weeks, her husband noticed before she did. She told me, "I feel like someone turned the lights back on." Dorothy's story matters because she had already tried. She just hadn't tried the right way. Then there's Carol, 71 from Arizona. She almost didn't come back to see me after our first appointment. She told me straight, "Dr. Jenkins, I'm too old for this to make a real difference." I hear that more than you'd think. Carol's brain, like all of our brains, was still capable of growth and repair at 71. That's not hope. That's neuroscience. 3 months after we addressed her B12 absorption and filled in the nutritional gaps, she called me to say she'd started doing the crossword again, not struggling through it, finishing it. Linda is 68 from Tennessee. She was skeptical because she'd watched her mother go through memory decline and assumed she was next. "You're describing things that sound too good to be real," she told me. I understand that hesitation, but what Linda experienced wasn't magic. It was her brain finally getting what it had been missing. She described it as the fog lifting slowly, like a morning that finally clears. Her skepticism didn't stop the result. It just made her more surprised by it. And then there's Barbara, 74 from Virginia. Barbara had a specific concern. "My body just doesn't respond to things the way it used to." She'd had a previous experience with a supplement that did nothing for her. What I explained to Barbara, and what I want you to hear, is that the supplement doing nothing wasn't her body failing. It was the wrong supplement, delivered the wrong way, without the support it needed to function. When you give your brain the complete picture, the response is different. Barbara told me 3 months later that she felt more mentally present than she had in years. I want you to take one action before you close this video. Go to the pinned comment. Not the description, the pinned comment. And look at what I've left there. It's the one thing I make sure every patient over 60 knows about before they leave my office. I've seen too many people doing everything else right and missing this one piece. You've been paying attention today. You've shown up for your brain. Don't leave without this. Your brain is not done. It is not past the point of care. Every day you give it what it actually needs is a day you are choosing clarity, connection, and the life you've worked so hard to build. I am genuinely rooting for you because I know what's possible when the right support finally reaches the right place.